All right, wrapping up our availabilities, we now have Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Toyota, and we'll go ahead and open it up to questions for Kyle. We'll start with Bob and then go to Jerry.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. It looked a lot like Super Speedway, Daytona, and Talladega. Did it feel like that, or were there any main differences?
Yeah, it did feel most similar to that. I feel like the racetrack width is just kind of a little bit of a hindrance, you know, as to what you can do. Getting that top cleaned off and burned in to have a third lane would be ideal. Other than that, I would say Super Speedway type style race. Yeah, runs happen quicker, bigger. Just, I don't know if it's because everything's tighter or what, but it seems like you can get runs happening and made different than what I remember at Daytona.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. I've got two. I'll ask the easy one first. You had a video with Brexton talking about racing from the back, and you said you even need to learn how to race from the back. You were teaching him, kind of a teaching one. Yeah, how is that going? And with your stuff with him and racing, you know, seeing Brexton come up?
It's going really good. He's in Illinois yesterday and today racing his junior sprint stuff again, and ran great last night. I mean, watching him, things he was doing, you know, first time being at that track gave me chills, honestly. I was pretty excited about what he was doing and how he was running, so it was really, really good. Started 5th in his heat and passed everybody, won his heat, which gave him the pole for the main, and he just drove away, and lap traffic didn't even phase him. So the kid that finished second to him last night ran second at the Tulsa shootout in junior sprints. So I mean, that kid he didn't even keep up. So trying to get up there right now. Anybody got an airplane? My shit's broke. First world problems.
And follow up, I asked Bell this a while ago. At the end of the day tomorrow, first off, do you like it, the racing out, or what you think the racing will be, and do you think that, you know, the over-under will be more or less drivers like what the track has become?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. You know, would you have seen something similar to this with the old configuration and a wider racetrack? Probably. If we ran restrictor plate style stuff, you know, we probably still would have had that with the lesser banking and the wider racetrack. The narrower racetrack right now lends itself to some hairy moves and things like that. You know, turning off into turn 3 when you're running the bottom, and you start to load up in the corner and your front end gets tight and you wash up the track and somebody in the middle is holding you down, holding you tight. You make contact, cause a crash. That I feel like that's where we're going to see a wreck. And then you might also see some down the front stretch too. Just, it's kind of rough down there. It's really bumpy. When the cars bounce a little bit, they don't always continue to go straight. They move. So guys holding guys tight is going to be where we start to see some issues. As far as whether or not everybody's going to like it, I guess we'll see how many cars finish.
All right, we'll come up here to Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. How bumpy is the track? What's the transitions like out of 2 and 4 onto the straightaways?
The transition off of 2 is fine in the bottom lane, but lane 2 and lane 3 closest to the wall are horrible, like really bad. How what? Hell if I know. I didn't pave the place. Turn 4 is also super, super rough when you're running high. You know, half a lane off the wall. It's really, really rough, really jarring through the middle of turn 4, not off of 4. Off of 4 is okay. If you guys really want to know what the track feels like, look up Tony Stewart's quotes when they repaved the racetrack at Las Vegas. I'll let you go there.
All right, we'll come to Dustin.
Justin Long, NBC Sports. Kyle, you mentioned kind of the situation where it maybe could be a little hairy with somebody holding another car down. Is this something that all you guys, because you're professionals, understand and know how to take care of each other, or is this something that people have to talk, or is there a concern that there are squirrels out there that could cause some sort of issues? How do you guys handle it, or how do you try to handle it as a leader, as a veteran, going into a unique situation like this?
It's going to continue to amp up and get more and more tight. You know, obviously when you come to stages and there's points on the line, and then especially when you come to the end of the race and there's a win on the line, man, I just, you need to take care of one another. I mean, there's no reason why we should crash, but we are going to. So just hope it's not too hard.
All right, we'll go to Steve.
Steve Conley, PRN. Kyle, you mentioned the roughness of the front straightaway. I was wondering if you had noticed the difference of the front stretch wall. It's more rounded off. Is there a little bit more room to race through the front stretch, or is it going to be kind of typical Atlanta along that section of the racetrack?
No, I didn't really notice it. I know they softened the first kink. I don't know why they didn't soften the second kink. I hit the first kink at Charlotte really, really bad back in 2007. And then I remember the second kink was super, super bad at Charlotte with Davey Allison. So something like that. You know, we run the front straightaway round. I don't know why we need a quad wall. Doesn't make any sense. Make the wall follow the track of the car. That's my opinion and how I would do it.
Any final questions? All right, we'll go to Bob and then finish up with Kelly.
Are there any tools in the toolbox as far as avoiding a wreck that's different here than at Daytona or Talladega? I mean, do you have a little bit more throttle, or I mean, can you lift off the throttle at all more here than somewhere else?
Yeah, the brakes on these cars are better than the old cars. The old super speedway cars we had were really lightweight brakes and would never really stop all that well. Some better than others, but now everybody has the same brakes. They're way oversized for this type of application, so you use the brakes and they slow down. So you do have that ability. Like, I think it was Stenhouse that got crashed on the front stretch at Daytona. I slowed down and was able to avoid it and miss it. The old car, I don't think you would have been able to do that.
All right, and then Kelly.
Kelly, ChronoRacer.com. So Kyle, based on what we saw in practice with pack racing and the runs and everything, do you expect tomorrow to be, are you going to be worn out afterwards? Is it going to be more intense than what we're used to?
Yeah, I think it will be. Just the tighter confines, being a mile and a half, you know, 325 laps around here is a lot. So, you know, I think we run 188 at Talladega and 200 at Daytona, so it's 125 more laps going through the same thing and being packed up, being in tight conditions. So you will be probably more mentally than physically, but yeah, you're going to be tired after this one.
All right, thanks for joining us, Kyle.
Yep.